Iran's foreign minister confirmed today he will meet with U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff this weekend for indirect talks on a possible new nuclear deal. Yet that seemed to contradict President Trump's assertion of the negotiations.
We're having direct talks with Iran, and they've started. It'll go on Saturday. We have a very big meeting, and we'll see what can happen. But it's getting to be very dangerous territory, and hopefully those talks will be successful. And I think it would be in Iran's best interest if they are successful.
Direct or indirect, the talks represent a breakthrough between the U.S. and Iran. Let's discuss this with retired Colonel William Dunn. He is the president of Strategic Resilience Group, LLC, a company he founded after spending 33 years in the U.S. Marine Corps. He's also the author of Gunfighter's Rule, the story of a boy destined to become a U.S. Marine. Sir, thank you very much for joining us. My first question to you is why the debate and discussion over whether the talks are direct or indirect? What impact does that have on any of this?
Well, thanks very much for having me. And I don't know that how the talks are held has as much impact as the fact that we are absolutely having talks. That's very important. There is extreme unrest in concerns in the Middle East and what could happen. There's concerns of what would happen if Iran does possess a nuclear weapon, and there's concern of what our ally Israel would do if that were to take place. We need to avoid that at all costs. Talks, indirect or direct, are going to hopefully help prevent us coming to what I consider a cataclysmic problem where we're doing another fight, another war in another country. We don't need that. They don't need that. And the best way to prevent that is with good, solid communication.
Steve Witkoff has a mighty big job. Those talks start this Saturday, direct or indirect, however you want to characterize them. But what is Steve Witkoff's main job going into Saturday with Iran?
Well, I won't speak for Steve. I don't personally know him, but I would think what I would do if I was in his shoes, the first thing I would do is demonstrate a fact that we do not want to go onto a path for war. It's better to have a path for negotiation, a path for calm. But then I would be very stern and explain and remind them that right now, Iranian-backed Houthis are attacking U.S. ships. They need to be held accountable for that. The Houthis themselves, I think we had over 30 strikes today. I hope they continue. We cannot have an entity shooting and putting American lives at risk of our men and women overseas, as well as our allies and free shipping lanes. So we need to stop that. But I would go in there with that, but I wouldn't go in there, I wouldn't go in there like Raging Bull. I'd come back a little bit and try to make it a friendly scenario until it no longer can be one, and then make them understand American might, it will stop this aggression.
Let me ask you this. So the talks, sounds like Oman will mediate the talks. So why them and how do they influence the dynamic between the U.S. and Iran?
Well, I think it's a neutral country out there. I've spent a good bit of time in Oman during my Marine Corps deployments. Great place. I think they're looking for, I don't want to necessarily call Oman completely neutral, but they're looking for a place where both sides can probably feel comfortable in not demonstrating. Maybe what we don't know is what Iran is telling their population and how the Iranian population will see these talks. They don't have as quite free access to internet and TV and news as we do. I don't know the depth of that, but I suspect they're going to tell their folks one thing, and then something will take place in those talks in Oman.
The goal in all of this, obviously, is so that Iran cannot possess a nuclear weapon. I read stories all the time how close they are to having one, or whether it's one or two or six. Or do you believe, in your assessment, after everything you looked at and seen, how close are they? When could they have one? Do you think they'll get one eventually?
Well, okay, that's a tough question. Whether we think they're going to get one or not, they can never get one. And I would suggest that these talks may be in line with the fact that we think they're getting close to getting one. I don't know that. I know our intel folks that are doing this at the highest levels of security would understand that. They cannot have one because they've already told us, they've told the world what they will do as soon as they get one. So what we do not want, and I would hope that every Iranian citizen does not want this, we never want this world to cross the nuclear threshold and have one country shoot at least one or more nuclear weapons at another. We do not want that. We need to prevent that for the future of our world and the future of our children. And I think that needs to be the focus. Iran does not need a nuclear weapon. The only reason why they want one is to destroy Israel. And so they have to understand that that will never happen, and they need to understand the ramifications if they do or try.
And finally, we're wrapping up here quickly, but the war in the Middle East, a year and a half now, Israel fighting Hamas. Sir, do you see that coming to an end anytime soon?
I do not, unfortunately. The first time that, as a brand new Marine in 1983, the Hezbollah blew up the Beirut hospital or Beirut airport, killing 241 Marine sailors and soldiers. And from that point on, there's been unrest in the Middle East. And before that, right? It's been there forever. We're not going to solve it. We need to solve it one piece at a time. Getting these hostages back would be a step. It would stop, I believe, the bombing campaign from Israel immediately if they did that. I would hope, and the problem is they're not maybe rational actors. You would just hope they would let those hostages go, stop the bombing, and reset. It won't be peace in my mind. It'll just delay the next conflict. But the more and longer peace we have, the more stability we have, the better we can all get along.
We need more peace, that's for sure. Colonel William Dunn, thank you very much for your time, sir, and thanks for your service in the Marines.
Well, yes, sir. Thank you very much for having me, and have a wonderful night.
All right, take care.